I've had a heavy heart lately. Um, it almost feels like life is pushing me in just towards a direction, just like a current of life that I can't seem to stop, and it almost feels like I don't have control. And I have my girlfriend who wants to get engaged. She wants to get married, and I do too. She wants to have kids. And I almost feel like there's this like current of just pressure taking me to that place, and I'm not able to provide for her fully yet. She still has to work, and my desire is to have her here at home. um, but then at the same time, I want to be able to travel and be able to be almost like this like nomadic uh digital nomad kind of vibe. And so I want to be able to be like a digital nomad kind of family. And my girlfriend doesn't want that. She just wants to stay in one place, and I want to be able to have it all. Like, I want to be able to have one place here and be able to travel and take our kids different places and all that. And so I think the solution is just make a lot of money. That's the solution here. I need to have a cash cow that just sort of allows me to have the freedom, like have the say in whatever it is I want to do, you know, because if I'm the provider, if I'm the one that's working and making the money, then stay at the house. I'm going to go, right? Does that make me a bad person for wanting to, go somewhere and have Ashley just here if she doesn't want to go, right? Like, I'll take the kids, let's go, you know? Um, I'll take the kids out. Um, we'll go live in South America, experience different cultures with my kids, and stay there for a few months. If my girlfriend doesn't want to go, she doesn't want to leave her cats, you know? But like, the one thing that I don't want is like for her to manipulate and stop me, you know? And I guess that's like my fear, because I know that we're not fully aligned in that. And so there's like different like points of like unalignment that sort of scare me about fully committing and marrying her, you know? And I know she wants to, like, she's pushing, to like get engaged and have kids, right? And then I feel like, well, if life just pushes me in that direction, then I just settle. And like, who do I become, right? I just become this sort of workhorse donkey that just, pays the bills, and that's it, you kind of, in a way, that's how I feel right now, even though she still works, because I can't fully support her. I put up most of it, and I've helped her a lot with like different things and stuff. And so like, I take the larger burden of the responsibility around here. And whenever I come and ask, like, hey, I want, things are getting a little expensive around here, it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to move to another country. And I can fully support you in another country, like in Mexico. I mean, I was checking rents in Mexico. They're like $700 a month to live in, like, in the jungle in Tulum. It's crazy. Um, I mean, that's wild to think that that's available. And in here in Austin, I mean, we're paying $2,600, you know, to live in a beautiful place. I mean, we have an amazing, gorgeous place right next to Barton Springs, right? But, you know, as an entrepreneur, somebody that's like trying to, you know, really build something, build a business, a lot of pressure, right? Because she wants to stop working. I have to fully support and take on that responsibility, which I want. I genuinely do want, and I something that I aspire to, but I need time, right? And so whenever we make changes to, you know, if we need to make changes to go somewhere and go to Mexico, right? Or go to South America, because I mean, like, or go to like Bali, you know, somewhere epic where we can like love and enjoy life and at the same time have the flexibility of, you know, having to, not having to pay such a hard rent. I mean, we can have the best of both worlds, right? And she just doesn't want to because, you know, she loves her pets. I mean, we have 4 pets. Can you? And she says we need to bring them, and I'm like, can you imagine going through the airports with 3 cats? 1 hour drive with the cats when we take them to her parents whenever we have to go out of town. Um, they they shit the carriers, and it's a fucking circus. And so I can only imagine a, you know, 5 hour plane ride to South America, or a, if we go to, you know, Asia, 20-hour plane ride. I mean, that would just, it just doesn't make any sense, right? So to me, I want to be I want to be flexible. I love mobility, and I crave autonomy and freedom. And whenever I feel like it's something I can't fully have, I run. I feel a lot of panic within me, like, oh, my freedom is being taken away. You know, like me being able to travel and do these things, I'm not gonna be able to do them. That's almost what I feel right now. Um, and simply, it's just like, if you're with me, if you're fully with me, then let's do it, right? It won't be forever. I love Austin. I plan on raising my family here. But if we have to go and make pivots, right, then I want that level of support because I'm fully committed to you. And if I'm fully committed to you and you're fully committed to this relationship and us, then if we need to go, then we have to we then we both have to make compromises, right? And I mean, I'm down to take like her dog, you know. I'm not saying like we're not going to take any animals, just not 4 of them. It doesn't make any sense. So it's almost like you have to enforce your boundaries. I think that's the key, right? Like, know what you want. Know what you want. That's key, right? So my coach Bogdan taught me that, actually. It's coming back to me. So I'm gonna write that down. Know what you want. So that's step 1, is like identify clearly what you want. 2 is take action towards what you want. Towards it. And 3, enforce your boundaries. And I think that is the key. There's boundaries that I have, right? And I'm not willing to sacrifice my autonomy. am I willing to sacrifice my autonomy for paying for rent here that's, too expensive? And you may be asking like, well, why'd you do it? Yeah, well, things were a little bit different earlier this year. And I made enough money last year to cover me for a full year, worth of living expenses. So I mean, it's fine. It's not like but I just think about these things. I'm like, well, you know, and it's a month to month. So if I'm able to, you know, bounce and recalibrate, get re-inspired a little bit in a different place, then, why not? I mean, where I live right now, I'm not saying it's like not inspiring. It's amazing. It's beautiful here. But it's almost like the feeling of not being able to do the things that you want, and sort of life pushing you towards something that may trap you is a fear, I guess. But maybe that fear is simply an illusion. Like I'm working towards not being in that place, and so that's the fear. The fear is like ending up in a place where I can't do anything, where my only out is to go and get like a 9 to 5 job. That's really the fear. That's where this is coming from, I guess. Now that I'm thinking about it. But that's never going to happen. That's my boundary, right? My boundary is I will never go and get a job. And so if I reach a point where my business isn't, bringing me what I need, I'm going to make changes and I'm going to go move somewhere that's cheaper. Like, that's it. I'm going to do it. And so if those changes need to be made, I'm going to do them. But right now, everything's fine. But yeah, that is my biggest fear. Because if I can get to a place where I'm making, this month I made $11,000. Last month didn't make that. I made a lot less. And so I think that's what it is, right? Like it has to be consistent, but we're getting there. So even if, honestly, like I don't have to be making that much, which is kind of insane if you really think about it. So it's all like, if you really think about it, fears are pretty irrational, right? And talking it through is super helpful, like what I just did right now. And so that's the journey of, being a man, of, trying to become the provider, but also having your desires and things that you want. And I think it's important to have that level of clarity of like, know what you want, know that you're taking action towards it, and then enforce the boundaries of where your limits are, right? And also enforce the boundaries of like, this is what I need to do in order to achieve this goal. So the things that you have to say no to at the same time. And this also means like shiny object syndrome. Like you have to say no to those things. Say no to the things that look like good opportunities, but in reality at this moment, they are distractions. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful. And keep a light heart. I think that's the most important thing. Keep a light heart. Everything that you do should come from love, not from fear, right? At the end of the day. And we always have to realign ourselves to love and the purest intentions for what we want. And it's our own human desires that pull and tugs us because we fear, certain outcomes and certain things that could happen. And that's why it's important to have clarity of those scenarios. Like we're playing the game of life here, right? And it's so much about this guy here, what's going on in between your ears. And at the end of the day, it's just trusting God. Trusting God, having full faith and openness. Like, hey God, this is what you gave me. This is my assignment right now. There's definitely, that should be like 95% of it, or 100% of it really, but 95% of it should all be just openness in faith, that if you just do the right thing, right, take the right actions, right, you will be rewarded. God will reward you, right, by trusting in him. And so it's like we just kind of went through, I feel like I just went through kind of like the whole spectrum here of, first identifying like a fear of like being pushed and the current of life taking me towards something that I'm going to feel trapped, right? But the reality is that I'm not, because there's always a choice. You'll always have a choice if you enforce your boundaries. And if you keep doing what you're doing now, because things are working, then things should start looking up, right? So there's a contingency plan, but you're taking action towards a desired future of like a desired outcome of what you want. And you're enforcing the boundaries so that you stay on the path, right? And that's really all you need. And then at the end of the day is just putting one foot in front of the other and having full faith that it's going to work. All right. So hope that was helpful. This is just me sharing my truth, and with a cup of coffee in the morning. So I got a newsletter. It's if you have worries, if you have any struggles or fears, then you can type it in there. Just type. I'm not gonna be able to read it. You type it in there, and what it's gonna happen, it's gonna spit out an entire reframe of that worry, and it's gonna help you see things from a new perspective. I have different philosophers kind of trained to this AI. Some Jesus in there, some Alan Watts, and others. Mainly just Jesus and Alan Watts, because I think that's all you need. And it's an advice that's gonna be coming from them. So it's helped me a lot. So if you have anything on your heart, anything you're kind of worried about, right, you can literally tell it, you can literally just voice it to it. Just it'll catch most of it, and it'll send you an email with what you got. It's pretty cool. It'll send you an email. So yeah, try it out. It's good stuff. So all right, thanks a lot, my friend. Have a beautiful day, and talk to you later. See ya.